Having mentioned in one of my recent videos on gold that the intermediate cycle is now evidently stretching from only about 5 months long into mid-May, it's actually stretching into the regular duration of just over half a year in this case. And I think gold is getting ready to turn back up into an intermediate cycle rally. After all, the daily cycle is likely finished back on Thursday. That would give us relatively close to an average duration of a daily cycle of 59 days. And we have seen multiple pokes below relatively wide Bollinger Bands, which is also often a sign of a bit of a reversal coming up. Looking at the 14-day RSI, we see that it's at the most oversold levels going all the way back into the second half of 2018. So despite a bit of a death cross actually showing up in early July, I think a bit of a rally is likely over the next few months into the intermediate cycle top. Perhaps this time we're not really going to retest the all-time highs at around 2080. Looking at the dollar cycle, where the daily cycle usually lasts for around a couple of months, it's now 49 days long. So it's quite likely again, after multiple pokes above relatively wide Bollinger Bands, not extremely wide, it's time for the short-term daily cycle in dollar to come down. And the intermediate cycle is already 185 days long, so it's already getting pretty long. So it's again likely that this decline is going to be a final drop into the intermediate cycle low, perhaps again over the next few months, which also supports the likelihood that gold is likely to rally, maybe at least back up to 1900 into this new intermediate cycle. But again, it's all likelihood, nobody actually knows the future. I'm sharing my opinion with you here, and in return I want to know about your opinion. Tell me down in the comments below. Let's look at the COT report on gold. The red line is the commercials. The commercials have the smallest negative position at least over the last 3 years. The same with the red line at the bottom, at the very bottom of the chart. Again, smallest negative positions or net shorts in commercials at least over the last 3 years. And looking at the top green line, that's speculators, they are now at the smallest net long positions, with the commercials often being smart money and speculators often being dumb money. Perhaps as the commercials are at their smallest net long, perhaps it's time for gold to actually give the speculators a lot of pain by going back up, at least temporarily, into a new intermediate cycle. Looking at the Optimism index, it's also at the lowest level all the way since the second half of 2018. It's already below 30. And again, as I've mentioned many times, historically, buying when the Optimism index is somewhere around 30 has often, very often, been a good buying opportunity. With a more recent exception over the last couple of years, where the optics only managed to drop to just below 50 rather than down to 30. So my intermediate view is that gold is ready to rally into a new intermediate cycle. On the longer term view, have we seen gold actually give us this double top over here, and is the bear market about to start? Well, I'm going to share my views on that in the next video, perhaps in the next few days, so stay tuned.